back to Movies on the Brain, where we dig into the darkest and most thrilling film. I'm Jason, and today we're stepping into the deadly world of The Killer's Game. Directed by J.J. Perry, The Killer's Game brings us into a high stakes world of assassins, danger, and unexpected twists. Starring Dave Bautista and Sofia Boutella, this movie delivers the kind of tension that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Just a quick heads up, this review will contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen the film yet, make sure to watch it first. In The Killer's Game, we're thrust into a world where survival is everything, and nothing is as it seems. Let's dive into this adrenaline-fueled and action-packed ride. Killer's Game released in theaters on September 13th, 2024 with a budget of $30 million. It was projected on September 11th to have an opening weekend of roughly $4.7 million. Unfortunately, it underdelivered on its opening weekend, only bringing in $2.6 million. Finishing number 6 in the box office behind Reagan, Am I Racist, Deadpool and Wolverine, Speak No Evil, and Beetlejuice numbers 5 through 1 respectively, with I Am Racist, Am I Racist, and Speak No Evil opening the same weekend. As of September 23rd, 2024, The Killer's Game has earned $4.8 million domestically and $263,884 internationally, bringing its worldwide total to $5.1 million. At a dance performance in Budapest, hitman Joe Flood carries out an assassination but is spotted by guards. Joe spots a fallen dancer, Maisie, and helps get her out safely. She tries to thank him, but Joe starts to suffer a headache and leaves before Maisie can help him. Joe goes to get tests done because of his headache. He confides in his handler/close friend Zvi that he is questioning why he does what he does. He goes to a dance studio where Maisie has classes to return her phone. He has taken an interest in him after he saved her, so Maisie gives him her number to take her up on a dinner offer. Joe initially considers throwing the number away, but he realizes he is indeed attracted to Maisie, so he decides to go for it. Joe and Maisie have dinner, where he lies to her about his profession. He would eventually start dating and get serious, with Joe falling in love with Maisie. However, he gets the results of his tests back, and physician Dr. Kagan tells Joe that he has Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, which will eventually cause his motor functions to shut down, with roughly 3 months to live. Worried for Maisie's future, Joe goes to Zvi to have a contract put out on him so that Maisie can collect life insurance money off of Joe's death. Zvi refuses to do so since he cares so much for Joe. So Joe goes to a woman named Mariana Antoinette, another skilled assassin who now assigns contracts to any willing killer. He also has a personal grudge against Joe because he killed her father even though he mentored Joe. He tells Mariana to put a $2 million hit on him that goes into effect at midnight. She agrees and sends the hit out. First, she contacts seasoned hitman Lovedoll, but he turns it down because he thinks $2 million is too low. Mariana then contacts Korean assassin Goyang and his crew, plus 2 Hungarian brothers who kill together. Joe meets with Maisie to break up with her, making up an excuse to get her to hate him and make it easier on him for when he's dead. He goes home and gets drunk, leaving Maisie an emotional voice message explaining his diagnosis and that he really does love her. Moments later, Dr. Kagan calls Joe to urgently inform him that his test results got mixed up with another patient and that he is not sick, just as Goyang and his gang arrive at Joe's apartment. They proceed to attack, with Joe killing all of them. The Hungarian brothers show up on their motorcycles, but Joe also manages to take them out. Joe calls Mariana to tell her that he changed his mind and wants to cancel the contract, but she refuses and is now doubling the hit just to ensure that Joe dies. Mariana proceeds to make good on her word and contacts every available hitman in Europe. Lovedoll joins the hunt now that the price has gone up, and he is forced to work with an aspiring British assassin, Money. Scottish brothers Angus and Rory Mackenzie, as well as British strippers Jeannie and Tanya, aka the Pretty Girls, and a dancing assassin called Botas, join the hunt. Joe goes to get help from Zvi and his wife, the latter who fixes his headaches and bad vision. He then goes with Zvi to a nearby castle to set up traps and lure the other assassins there. Lovedoll and Money track down Maisie to her apartment after Joe has sent her a message warning her. And the two try to accost her, and Maisie incapacitates Money before Lovedoll takes her. All of the assassins, except for Lovedoll, arrive to attack Joe, but he quickly takes them out. Lovedoll contacts Joe through Maisie's phone to let him know that she has been taken, and he tells Joe where to meet him. When Joe arrives at the cemetery where Maisie is, she escapes, takes the car, runs into Lovedoll before taking Joe with her. Hit squad led by Mariana's right-hand man, Max, goes up and tries to shoot at Joe, but Max claims he got a shot in. Lovedoll is not happy and demands that Mariana up the contract to $6 million before leaving Money behind. On their way out, Joe confesses the nature of his actual job to Maisie and that he was misdiagnosed, but he is also willing to leave the assassin life behind for Maisie. He then tells Joe that she is pregnant and would not want to raise a child with a murderer. She then starts to pass out because one of Max's bullets hit her shoulder. Joe brings Maisie to a church for sanctuary and to tend her wounds. Priest shelters them, and after Maisie wakes up, Joe proposes to her. The priest agrees to marry them there, but during the ceremony, Max and his goons show up, injuring the priest before Lovedoll shows up. Joe kills most of Max's goons before pinning Lovedoll under some scaffolding. Max corners Joe and tries to kill him, but Maisie blows Max's head off first, much to her horror. Joe takes Maisie out of the church and leaves an injured but alive Lovedoll there. Mariana attempts to flee, but Zvi reminds her that she broke the rules of the game by sending a mercenary squad during an open contract, thereby dishonoring the assassin's agreement. Zvi executes Mariana, and Joe and Maisie later get married for real with their friends in attendance. While Joe promises to make good on his word to retire from the assassin life, Maisie considers how expensive raising a child will be, so she suggests not giving it up entirely. Let's look at the cast and some other roles they've had. Dave Bautista is Joe Flood. Other roles for Dave Bautista include Leonard in Knock at the Cabin, Duke Cody in Glass Onion, and Scott Ward in Army of the Dead. Sofia Boutella as Maisie. Other roles for Sofia Boutella include Gazelle in Kingsman: The Secret Service, Jayla in Star Trek Beyond, and Nice in Hotel Artemis. Terry Crews as Lovedoll. Other roles for Terry Crews include Tentacular in Rumble, John Henry in John Henry, and Chico in The Ridiculous Six. Scott Adkins as Angus Mackenzie. Other roles for Scott Adkins include Killa in John Wick Chapter 4, Payne Burgess in Avengement, and Mike Fallon in Accident Man. Marco Zaror as Botas. Other roles for Marco Zaror include Chidi in John Wick Chapter 4, Aja Cuddy in Alita Battle Angel, and Brock Cortez in 2020's Invincible. Pom Klementieff as Antoinette. Other roles for Pom Klementieff include Mantis in Marvel movies and TV shows, Paris in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Laser in Thunder Force. Ben Kingsley as Z. Other roles for Ben Kingsley include Salvador Dali in Daliland, Malcolm in Lockdown, and Cooper in Night Hunter. Drew Galloway as Rory Mackenzie. This was Drew Galloway's film debut and has been his only role so far. Drew Galloway is best known for wrestling on WWE television under the name Drew McIntyre. Shayna West as Tanya. Other roles for Shayna West include Essie in The Woman King and Jade in Jade. Lucy Cork as Jenny. Other roles for Lucy Cork include Widow in Black Widow, and Isla Schiller in The Union. Daniel Bernhardt as Radovan. Radovan. Other roles for Daniel Bernhardt include a soldier in Atomic Blonde, Constantine in Extraction 2, and a busgoon in Nobody. Lee Hoon as Goyang. This has been Lee Hoon's only role in an American film. Raffaello de Grutola as Dr. Kagan. Other roles for Raffaello de Grutola include Tony in Burning Men, Detective Holt in Guns for Hire, and Jeb Norton in Blood Moon. Now, I don't see this movie winning any award except maybe costume design, but honestly, I feel like this movie was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Dave Bautista in the lead, and I feel like him and Sofia Boutella have really great chemistry. This was the first movie I've seen in a while with Ben Kingsley that he wasn't playing the villain, and I feel like he was really great as Joe's confidant. Tom Clementieff as the main villain was great, and even though I know her mainly as Mantis in the Guardians of the Galaxy and Marvel movies, this was a great change from the goofy and bubbly character she plays in those. Drew Galloway was phenomenal in his film debut, and I really do hope he gets some more roles in the future. I really loved Terry Crews in this as well. I feel like he was a great addition to it, given this movie some more star power aside from Ben Kingsley, uh, Dave Bautista, and Tom Clementieff. Throwing Terry Crews in there was really great. I really thought the twist of Joe's prognosis getting switched was well written and well executed. I really enjoyed how well shot the death scenes were, especially Rory's and Bota's death scenes. And I really do love how over the top a lot of the death scenes were and how well choreographed the fight scenes were, specifically the fight scene between Rory and Joe. And the party girls' names being a play on gin and tonic was absolutely brilliant. I loved it. I haven't read the book, so I'm assuming they pulled those names from the book. And I'm assuming that's where the author got the names from too, was gin and tonic. I do feel like this movie is going to fly under a lot of people's radar, but it was a lot of fun for 104 minutes, and it's actually pretty breezy too. Now, I didn't find very many fun facts, but here's what I found. Antoinette calls Zvi Joe's rabbi. In Lucky Number 11, Ben Kingsley plays a mob boss called the Rabbi. There are quite a few Marvel stars in this film, including Ben Kingsley, Dave Bautista, and Tom Clementieff. Nicolas Cage and Jason Statham were considered for the leading role. And this was released the same year as Knox Goes Away, another movie about a hitman who is diagnosed with Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. And that's a wrap on The Killer's Game. This movie is packed with high-octane action, twists, and a relentless pace that doesn't let up. If you enjoyed this movie review, be sure to like and subscribe to Movies on the Brain for more heart-pounding movie discussions. I'd love to hear your thoughts on The Killer's Game and other action thrillers that kept you guessing. Drop your comments below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay sharp and be ready for anything, because in this game, survival is the only rule.